Hi there, I'd just like to show you my system. Um, I'm gonna do the front end first and then I'll talk about the code for a while. So this is the register form. We can easily switch, as you can see. So what I'll do is, okay, I have a lot of fluff in my database, a lot of test values. So don't mind the unhashed passwords over here. It's supposed to hash the passwords. That's the current functionality. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a new user. So let's go with johndoe@gmail.com. Then we're going to put John and we'll just add a password just like this. And we'll say click to sign up. So you'll see that the operation has been a success and it switched to login. So now if I refresh my database, you can see right here we have the hash password as well as the username. So I'll just enter that, but I'll go with the wrong password. So you can see there's an error message. Aha, so here we are, we have no tasks over here. And what we can do is we can start by adding a task. So say for example, buy the groceries. Okay, maybe we want to buy 10 tomatoes. So let's go with that. 10 tomatoes and maybe 2 potatoes. And then we can set the priority here as well. Once we save it, you're going to see that the update is instant. So I've used optimistic rendering. I'm using TanStack query for that specifically, so we don't have to wait for it to write it in the database. It's going to show the value as soon as we click the save button, right? And later on it syncs with the database. So if we go to our tasks, you're going to see right here, it's buy the groceries. Yeah, there we go. Okay, no, this is a different one. It should be somewhere around here. Buy the groceries. It can't be this one because this one's completed. Yeah, there we are. So medium and to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to edit the task, and instead of 10 tomatoes I'll say 8. And once I go ahead and I save it, right, it's going to show 8. Task ID is 26, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to view this task, and now as you can see, wrong one. Right, so buy groceries 10 to 8 tomatoes. There we are, so it's 26. And then we're going to edit it once more. We'll say 5 potatoes and we'll make it high priority. So now as you can see, if we refresh our database, the priority is high. So that's good. Let's create a few other tasks. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we are. New chore, clean the garden. We're gonna have this as low. I'm gonna go ahead and save, and then we're gonna create another one. Purchase a bike. Don't mind the description, which hasn't rendered properly. It's probably a bug somewhere. Purchase a bike. It must be under $1,000. Okay, so we'll keep it low. Now the good thing about this is, okay, let's just change it to high, that we can actually sort by date and priority. So if we go with dates, we can sort it ascending or descending. So this was the last one we made, and now it's on top. We could sort it by priority, so we want the lower priorities first. And we can also just have the default sorting configuration, which is sorting by the ID, right? So there we are. Now what we could do is we can actually tick, and you can see when we check this checkbox right here, it changes the status from to do to in progress. And the good thing about this is that we can actually click these double ticks over here and it's going to change it to completed. So there's 3 stages. There's to do, there's in progress, and then there's completed. Now, here's the good thing. Here's the front end validation. So if I haven't clicked this checkbox right here, then I cannot complete the task. I have to click this in order to complete it, right? So I showed you the sorting functionality. Let me go ahead and show you the filter functionality. So as you can see, we have one task that is in progress. The others are to do. So we're going to go to do. And you can see that we have 2 of our tasks over here. They're both to do. If we go to in progress, we have one of them over here. But if we click this double ticked icon, it's gonna go to completed. All right, so that's a good thing. There we are. So you can see we just click this over here, and we have the 2 tasks that have been completed, and this icon has turned from gray to red. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a small application, but the code behind it is very powerful in my opinion. So I'm just gonna go ahead over the code really quickly. Over my code really quickly. You'll see that we have 2 folders, the back end and the front end. Let's start with the DAOs, which are the objects that are closest to the database. So you can see that we have a couple of functions over here, and these are the ones that are executing the SQL. And one thing you realize is that we're using PG format and PG admin to create dynamic queries. And the reason why we use PG format is to prevent any SQL injections. Now the DAOs are interacting with the users, with the services. So if I go to services right here, let me just go to any one of these services. You're going to see we have a couple of functions like get tasks, create tasks. But if you look closer, we have something, we have this line over here. So it's interacting with the database access object and it's passing in something of the type tasks. Task is a model. If you go to the models folder, you're gonna see that task is a model, and all of the setters and the getters and all of the attributes actually map onto the columns in the database. So that's a good thing. And yes, these services are going to interact with these controllers right here. So as you can see, it's a very layered architecture. So if you go to the controllers, you're going to see we have a couple of functions, but ultimately these functions are actually calling the services, and what they pass on to the services are the DTOs. Now, if you want to know what the DTOs where the DTOs are, you just go to the types folder and you'll see we have the DTOs right over here. And finally, the controllers are interacting with one of the last layers, and that is the routes. So if we go to task routes over here, you'll see that it's calling the controllers, but it also has the middleware. So this one has 2 middlewares. There's the authenticate JWT, and then there's one for request validation. Now this one's interesting because this one actually validates each and every request coming to its respective route. So say for example, if we could go back to our task routes, this one validates each request with the task creation schema. Now if we go inside, you're going to see that it's a ZOD object and it has some validation logic over here. Now one thing you'll notice is that the schemas are identical to the DTOs. So the schemas are basically the DTOs, but with a bit more validation on top. And they are used in only the middleware to validate our requests. Okay, so that's it for the back end. For the front end, Also, do have a look at the types. I actually spent some effort on it, especially this one. This one's my favorite because it took me a while, to be honest. Where are my types? That's the wrong folder. Where is it? Okay, let me just go ahead and search for it. Query operations. So you'll see we have these query operations for filtering, slicing, and aka pagination and sorting. So do have a look at that. Let me move on to the front end. We have the hooks over here, which include the context as well. So this is a context that stores global variables, and right here we have the hooks. So these include all the Axios requests for the respective component. We have the pages, and these pages, they're going to import from the components. So you'll see components, we have smaller components in the util, right? And then we have the bigger components over here. Task inbox is the main page you must look at. It's everything you see over here apart from the sidebar. And then inside of the task inbox, we have the task form, which has the task. Let me show you the task form actually. So if I go inside here, this is the task form. Or if I go and I add a task, this is the task form, you know. So that's what it is. And we also have the welcome form, which is the login plus the register form, 2-in-1. You know, if you saw in the start of the video, we could switch from one type of form to another. So this is what that is. Then we also have types, and you'll see that some of the types, actually most of the types, I've copied from the back end and just pasted here. And that's to ensure consistency. That's to ensure the same types between the front end and the back end to minimize any errors. So yeah, you'll see that I'm also using Tailwind. So if you go to my scripts, there's something interesting over here. There's two scripts that I've added. There's TW compile, which compiles all the current Tailwind that you have inside the input file, the input.css. But we also have something called the TW compiling, which does the same thing as the line before it, but it has a hot reload feature, so you can have it running in the background. You could be, you know, developing, and then you could see the results on your front end. So yeah, that's it from me. I'm also gonna go ahead and add a scripts folder, so in order to create the database. I haven't modified much from there, but yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. I hope to get in touch with you soon.